Hey everybody, welcome to Doc's Take It On the Mormish. You are in Doc's clinic and we are giving you part 2 of the noise complaint, what noise video. Now, if you remember last video, we turned around and we only got 8 minutes into it. And the reason for that is the rant was starting, the Sov, Sit, Moops rant. And so we wanted to make sure that we had just we wanted a video just to listen to this individual talk about his Sov Sit experience. Okay, that's what we're going to hear here is the sovereign citizen take on all of this. Now, the first time you're going to see me, I'm actually going to not use the mic here on this set. I am going to use my handy dandy headset. He does speak very low in these videos, so it is very hard to hear what he's saying in this particular video. We have not moved this video from its actual place, so that's good. We kept it right there. We didn't want to change anything for anybody, and so we wanted to make sure that we were able to get this video in its original form. I'm going to do some quick audio changes here. I'm going to switch to my headset real quick. Let's see what we got here. See if it brings it up. Okay, it's still looking for it. So again, let me go into my neat little sound here. We'll make some changes. We're going to select the right device here. So let me see if I can hear this in my speakers. It looks like not yet. So we'll go ahead. We'll just keep it as it is for this video because I don't want to cause any problems. I want you guys to be able to enjoy the full video. And again, I'm using my Streamlab. So this is, again, or StreamYard. I'm still learning this, so you guys are learning right along with me. So let's get into this. Let's go to this video. We'll go ahead, and I'm going to set it right there. We'll go ahead and share this. I'm going to change my look here so that way you guys get a better share. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share this video with you guys now.
Hey, how's everybody doing? So it's about 1:30 in the morning. Trying to get some sleep, and
what
of course
I'm
I can't
I'm going to go ahead and advance this video.
If we pay attention to the words, if we pay attention to the context and the...
So before we go a little further here, again, the one thing I want you to understand is his videos are all like this. There's no picture. There's nothing. Okay. This is how he does his videos. At this point, we've already heard the non-existent noise. We covered that in the last video. So now he's going to start talking about his again, definitions, and we'll go through. I got my handy dandy cell phone right here. We will go through here and we'll debunk using the Google machine some of his definitions. So listen to what he's saying here. And again, we'll go through and again, you're going to see the Sov Sit playbook that's coming out here. So let's go ahead and get this going here.
Codes or quote unquote laws. Then we realize that it's the public servant's responsibility to bridle the corporations. And in this instance here, and in many instances here, it's upside down. It's backwards, where men and women are being held to a higher standard than what these cowards are willing to hold themselves to. And on top of that, they're...
Okay, let me tell you who the cowards are. The cowards he's talking about, or people he wants to label cowards, are the public officials. He's talking about the Zanesville Police Department because he didn't get the outcome he wanted. He's talking about the Zanesville Director of Law. Again, he didn't get the outcome he wanted. He's talking about these ladies that he viciously attacked verbally, that are the dispatchers, and he calls them quota hires. So that's who he's calling cowards. Now, mind you, The screen is black and he's just talking, and supposedly this video took place at 1:30 in the morning.
Unlawfully applying the codes and statutes to men and women and ignoring their responsibilities and the fact that these codes and statutes really only apply to corporations. Look at
that's not true. Codes and statutes are laws. Okay, so again, he's gonna tell you to define the word person in the Ohio Revised Statute. I've already done that. And what I'll do is in the description in this video, I'll go ahead and I'll post that so you guys can see, or at least give you the link to the Ohio Revised Statute talking about the definition of person. He's wrong. These laws and these codes and statutes, they're laws. They take a legislative branch to debate, write up, sign, and put into law. So he thinks they only apply to corporations. Again, this is sovereign citizen thinking. This is Moop's thinking that only these laws apply to a corporation. So let's continue on here.
the definitions. Look at the definition of the word person. You won't find the word man or woman in the definition of the word person. The closest thing you can find in the definition of the word person, according to Ohio Revised Code and even U.S. Code, is the word individual.
He's wrong. It says man or woman. It doesn't have to say man or female. Individual also is another term, a synonym for male or female or person. Again, this is what sovereign citizens do. They twist the definition to fit its meaning. So while we have him paused here, I'm going to go ahead and go out to the old Google machine. Like I said, I'm still learning. And let's type in just so let's see. We want the definition of person. Okay. So let's go ahead. We're going to search for that. From the Oxford Dictionary, okay? A human being regarded as an individual. The porter was the last person to see her, okay? Similar is human being an individual. Grammar, they have for definition 2, again, for the word person, a category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, first person, the addressee, second person, and so forth. So here we are, and I from what I read, it's a human being regarded as an individual. It doesn't have to say male or female in there. It just said a human being. Now, regardless of gender, let's take gender/sex for the progressives out of here, and just look at us as a human being. That's what I am. I'm a Homo sapien. Okay, I'm a human being. That's what the definition of a person is. So again, he's taking the words, he's twisting the definition to fit his outcome, what he wants to have happen. So let's go in. So we got person.
But even the word individual doesn't describe a man or a woman.
So now that's what he did. He went from person to the definition of individual. So let's go look up. So the definition of individual is a person of a specified kind. The most selfish, egotistical individual I've ever met. Well, it's this guy right here. He really is. I know I'm a narcissist. I'll tell you straight up. I'm a narcissist perfectionist. That's what I am. And it's sad. It is. I understand my own ailment. But this guy is actually the definition of what they put out there. Now, I'm going to go to the full definition because now we've already defined person. Let's go to individual. The adjective is single separative, individual, tiny flowers, okay? Number 2 definition is of or for a particular person. The individual needs of the children. Individual serving dishes. Individual traits of style. If we go to the noun, the plural noun is individuals. Again, he doesn't give all the information. He gives what he wants you to hear because he's trying to make his case. So I'm going to give you the full definition. So a noun, individual, or plural noun, individuals, a single human being, boom, boom, right here, as distinct from a group, class, or family. The The second definition is a single member of a class. And then informal, a person of a specified kind. So that seems to be, they're calling out humans, us. We're human beings, okay? It doesn't have to say male or female. Male and female are sex traits, are gender, okay? We'll talk about that. That's a whole nother conversation for a much later date and time. But if we look at it as human beings, it talks about the individual human being, the individual person. Again, he's taking words. You see how he jumped from person, then he went to individual. That's how soft sits and moops get you, is that.
It describes, if you look at the definition according to Black's Law, it describes a newly born child.
No, hang on. He brought it up. We talked about this when I went live and did a video talking about of the soft sits, how they do their quota warno, okay? They bring up Black's laws because they think that is law. That's not law, okay? That's reference. Now, if he happened to have a new copy of Black's Laws Dictionary in his hand, the 11th edition, not the 6th edition, which is free online, which makes sense. That's not the definition they're using. That is not the definition they're using. So what he went from was, he went from Ohio Revised Codes for the word person, then jumped out to individual, and then went to Black Laws Dictionary to get the definition instead of just typing in definition of or legal definition of. He jumped out to Black's Laws. This is where soft sits and moops go. If you don't know what I mean by the term moops are Moors. I don't call them Moors because they're not Moors. I just call them moops. There's an episode of Seinfeld, the Bubble Boy episode. So again, you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, here he is. He just busted out Black's Laws Dictionary. Funny. So funny.
And it describes an individual as a newly born child, born with the cull, the afterbirth. See, once that's separated, you have two separate beings.
So afterbirth is not a being, okay? The afterbirth is just that afterbirth. It is not a person. It is not a being. It's not a human being. It's not a homo sapien. I don't know why I'm saying homeo. Thinking of homeostasis when everything is in stasis. Good. That's not true. So what I'm going to do is, since he wants to go play Black's Laws, let's actually go and do, again, I love doing this, legal definition of individual. Let's go take a gander. It's an objective. Individual means pertaining to or belonging to or characteristics of one single person. Human beings, same thing, okay? One single person, either in opposition to a firm, association, or corporation, or considered in his relation thereto. It breaks it down into different things. You can be an individual of a firm. You can be an individual of a corporation. You can be an individual of a business. Or just you, the single person. See, again, he did not give the full definition. He cut out what he didn't want to tell you. This man will sit here and tell you to think for yourself. But then throughout his whole video, he's giving misinformation. He's giving you what he wants to give you. Typical soft sit behavior. This is the soft sit playbook. I don't care if you don't call yourself one, but you're running their playbook. It's like a West Coast football team in the NFL using an East Coast defense. You can call it whatever you want. You can say you're not an East Coast defense team, but if I look at your defensive playbook, and it's the same playbook that the East Coast teams play, the East Coast defense or the West Coast offense, guess what? That's what it is. If it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Plain and simple. They use the playbook. I'm not a soft set, but you're running the playbook, buddy. We're seeing it right here. So again, he did not give you the full definition. And what's funny is, this came from thelawdictionary.org. This came out of a law dictionary. And again, it says, what is individual? As a noun, the term denotes a single person as distinguished from a group or class, and also very commonly a private or natural person as distinguished from a partnership, a corporation, or association. But it is also said that this restrictive significational faction is not necessarily inherited in the word, and that it may, in proper cases, include artificial persons. That is true. That is true. So he didn't want to give you the full definition. Now, there are some case files here and such, but he didn't want to give you the full definition. This is typical. This is typical. Here we go. Legal definition of a human being by birth, but okay, this is the legal definition of a human being or individual. A human being by birth, but in some parts resembling a lower animal. A monster hath no inheritable blood and cannot be heir to any land. Abbott brought forth in marriage. This is from Ballatino's Law Dictionary, 1930. I wouldn't follow this even if you paid me to. Okay. Here we go. That's what I want to see. Human being means an individual living member of a species of Homo sapiens. I'm pretty sure individual had that as similar. And that comes out of Law Insider. And I'll continue reading. Including the unborn human being during the entire embryonic and fetal ages from fertilization to full gestation. Human being means a person who has been born and was alive at the time of the criminal act. So they went a little further. Okay, they gave you the main definition, and then they talked about it a little bit further, how defined it is. And this is human being defined, 129 samples in the Law Insider. So again, he's not giving the full definition. So we'll continue. Let's see what else he brings up, because he's at Black Laws right now.
And the afterbirth is what is given the all caps name that you see like on your driver's license.
No, the all caps name does nothing. That's not given to the afterbirth. You know what they do with the afterbirth if it's not set to save the core blood? You know what they do with that? After they examine it, and they normally do, they want to make sure there's no defects or anything in there. They do examine it. You can save the placenta. There are some countries where they eat it. You know what they do with that? It goes in a red biohazard bag and goes in the trash. It has no name. They're not setting up a corporation. No way, shape, or form. Trust me, I've looked. I would love to have millions or billions of dollars in a straw man account somewhere. But you know what? It doesn't exist. They're not giving the afterbirth anything. The only reason why they do capital letters, and let's talk about this for a minute, because again, my whole point in all this is to crush his argument. So, what does my name in all caps mean? Your legal name, which is used to represent you, the person, me, the Homo sapien. The body of water or liquid is written in all capital letters because it is a piece of liquidated capital. In other words, it has been securitized and turned into a financial instrument. Hence the phrase liquidated capital. That's from, okay. And as you go through here, you get more soft sites. You get another one because they do a lot to push their stuff to the top. Straw man, why is your name in all capital letters? Again, there is no straw man. Here we go. Here's one for you right here. They ask the question, why is your name written in all caps on legal paperwork and bills? Because you are being addressed as a federally owned corporation. Again, this is from another soft sit. It says how. Oh, okay. Hang on. So that is why again. There is. Right, here's a good one too. It states, with regards to some contracts, I can understand the uses of all caps on the name when they are using software to complete a standardized contract. They enter your name, address, and particulars, and the form is printed out. The capitalization in this case highlights the changes to the standard form, but each company has different programs to issue contracts and bills. Capitalization does not indicate anything different. As much as the soft sits and the moops want to think capitalizing your name means it's a corporation strawman account, it's not. So let's continue on here because he's talking about afterbirth.
And that sort of thing. Don't take my word for it. This isn't my my.
So the one thing you're going to notice about this individual is he says, "Don't take my word for it. This is public knowledge." I have challenged people over and over. Okay, you're telling me there's a straw man in my name, all caps. How do I look that up? None of them can provide me anything that shows any sort of evidence. And it's literally a runaround. There's no way. Oh, you got to submit over here. You got to send this form over here. You got to do this. No. Bullshit. If there's a straw man account out in my name in the federal government that's holding millions or billions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, guess what? I want access to it. I think we all do. But it doesn't exist. That's why you can't look it up.
Set up. This isn't my deal. I'm just telling you how it is.
Though he shows no proof.
When you are born, there's a corporation set up in your name.
No, there's not.
And in your all caps name. And they trick you.
So this is how I know there's no all caps name set up underneath me. A couple years ago, I opened up a LLC because I do run different businesses. I'm hoping to turn this into a business one day, but I do some things that I want to make sure that if anybody ever came back on me, I'm protected through an LLC. So one of the very first things I did is I did a search for my name. I did it in many different forms: last name, first name, middle initial, first name, last name, all that good stuff. Not once, because I also got a federal EIN. They searched that to make sure there's no other company with your name on it in the federal database. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If that was the case, it would have popped up and it would have stopped me from using my full name. Okay? So that disproves this right here. When you go to do an EIN application and you want to put it underneath your name, under your LLC, guess what? You can. But if there's already a company, a corporation out there with your name, it stops you. It actually brings it up in the search and says, oh, here, by the way, there's this many corporations with names similar to what you're asking for. So where's mine? If this corporate straw man afterbirth made account birth certificate is nothing more than just them setting up a corporation in my name, where is it? Now, what's funny in this is being in the military, being a veteran, you write everything in capitals all day long. Every one, your medical record, your dental record, your service record, every single form or document, eval, everything that's in there is capitalized. There's a conflict there. There's a conflict there. So you're saying the corporation under my name, the afterbirth, was in the military? I wasn't? Because I know it has my social security number attached to my service record, because that's my service number, is my social security card, my social security number. You actually can't get in the military without one of those. And I believe for like foreign nationals that are trying to gain their U.S. citizenship by serving, I think they can use their visa number their registered alien ID number. I think that worked for them the same as our social security number. I could be wrong. But here we are. This gentleman is saying, hey, do your own research. It's not my thing. It's been out there. Well, he's just continuing the stream of lies and deceits and trickery. So let's continue. I digress.
Into thinking that you are the corporation when in fact you're not. You're the beneficiary of the trust that's set up, this SKV trust that is established when you are quote unquote born or birthed into this world and processed, or dare I say registered. There's a trust that's created for everyone that's born since 1933 here in America, in the U.S. I should say, that when you're born you get a birth certificate because your parents register you, and that birth certificate has a number, and if you
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there right now. There is a company called SKV Charitable Trust. But I'm going to tell you that I am no trustee at all to any of that stuff. Any of it. So, again, provide proof, Mr. Killeran. Provide proof. Instead of doing a black screen, StreamYard is very simple to use. You can even use a free version if you don't want to pay for it and you don't have a computer. You can do it on your phone. Prove it to me. Prove it to us out here calling you out. See, this is what you don't like. You don't like being called out on the bullshit you keep spreading. So what I'm going to tell you is prove it to me. Show me a website where I can go in and search my name and it's going to pull up this SKV trust and I'm the beneficiary of it. Because I would love to get into it if that's the case. Now, I looked this SKV up. Not finding anything talking about what you're talking about. At least not on the first page of the Googles. So that tells me right there that what you're saying is you found this on somebody's blog or somebody's website and yes, don't take me for it because you're trying to move the blame over. Don't take my word for it. It's out there. Where is it out there? Prove it. Post web links in your video. You can do web links and not show your face. Show me web links. That's what I want to see.
You notice the certificate is on bonded paper. So if you look up that number,
okay, bonded paper, people, is what the U.S. currency is printed on. In your higher bills, and I think now 10s do it now too. But in the 20s, 50s, and 100s, you noticed you had that little line through there. That's one of the security devices to prove fake or not. That's bonded paper. Your birth certificate, more than likely, is printed on parchment paper. Or it's printed on the same paper that your marriage license is printed on. Okay? There's nothing special about the paper they printed on. To be honest with you, it's kind of like a set of paper they go buy for security purposes. It's kind of like to prove that this is a legal copy. That's why when they stamp it, it's a raised seal. They may put a gold sticker that's got the seal of the county you were born in or the city you were born in or the state, more than likely, that you're born in. That's not true. Okay? It's not. Not at all.
I can't remember off the top of my head the exact website where you can look up the trust. You can.
I can't remember off the top of my head the exact website. You see how that works? Oh man, what was that website? You know what? I can't remember it. But as soon as I do, that's the thing. He can't remember the website where you could look up your trust. Well, aren't I shocked a little bit?
See the amount of the value of that trust that was created when you were born. Again, don't take my word for it. This isn't my word. This isn't my ideas. This isn't my theory. This is based on facts. I've
You're
looked up
right, Mr.
mine. You can look
Killian.
up
What
yours.
facts?
If you want to be
You
skeptical,
took somebody else's
be an
bullshit.
idiot. I don't
Cover
care. Everybody's entitled to be what they want to be. If you choose to be an idiot, then so be it. But
now, remember how I told you about him? He loves insulting people. That's his narcissism, okay? If you look up narcissism, it's NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and you go into the DSM-5, it lists the 5 signs and symptoms. He fits 4 of them. Now, to be diagnosed, you only have to get, I believe it's 3 out of the 5. He hits 4, and I think he's very close to hitting the 5th. So again, here he goes now. He's going to go on this insight. Well, if you don't look it up, you're an idiot. Well, you just said you couldn't find the website it was on. You couldn't remember. Now all of a sudden you're telling people to research it. Well, I just researched that, and in the first page of the Googles, it was nowhere to be found. So you're saying it's fact, but yet you don't provide the evidence that what you're saying is actual fact. What you're doing is pushing bullshit that you believe in to other people because, again, you think it is fact. That's your opinion. I'm going to tell you, none of this has been proven that this stuff is out there. So until you can prove it to me, show documentation that you got into your trust and your trust is worth this much. Because guess what? Every sovereign citizen that has tried filing against that trust has lost. A sovereign citizen has not won in court doing anything along those lines about a trust. They just haven't.
If you want to look into it, if you want to prove it to yourself, which, I mean, hell, you owe it to yourself to know the truth, look it up yourself. Get your birth certificate out. Look up that number at the top of the certificate. And there's videos online that can walk you through the process on how to look it up, where to put the information in.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I was born in 1977. Yes, I'm 45 years old. I look like I'm 20. No, seriously, I've been beat down that stick. What I'm going to show you, okay, is my certificate of live birth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple different things. One, I'm going to block out my name, but I'm going to show you some things. So first off, here is my birth certificate. Okay, here's the bottom portion. Yeah. All right, there I got my seal and everything on here. This is not bonded paper, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is the top portion of my birth certificate. And yes, there is a file number. You know what that file number is? It's to let them know that that was filed in the year of 1977, and that's the number that if I needed to get another copy of my birth certificate, that's what you use. Some people don't keep that information. Some people lose it. But this right here, it shows the county I was born in, the day, month, and year I was born in. It shows the date that it was filed and the date that it was issued. I had to get a new birth certificate, okay? When I went in, when I was going to go into the Navy, and I needed it for my driver's license as well. Now, mind you, the date that this was issued to me was November 9th of 1991 because I had to get a new one. This is a certified true copy. This comes from the state registrar's office, from the Department of Vital Records. That file number is nothing more than the number in the filing system. That out of everybody that year, my file number is 40,340-77. Okay, they don't reset the filing number for the year. They may set it for the decade or something along those lines. But that number, I guarantee you, if I punch this number into their imaginary system, it's not going to show me my trust, okay? Because there isn't one. But this is my birth certificate right here. I mean, seriously, they try so hard to get people to believe this stuff. That's what he's saying. So let's continue. Let's listen to Mr. Killer Rant here.
On the website and what the information means specifically. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not an expert, but I'm just telling you how it is.
You notice how he never says he looked up his own trust or he saw how much money his trust is worth? That would be, that would give me a little bit more to lean to. Like, well, maybe he did find this. But then again, I'm my common sense and me being reality based is going to pop back in and be like, wait a minute. What's the web link there, buddy? You should have it in the history in your web browser. But like he said, I'm no expert. If you want to look it up yourself, look it up. I don't remember the website. How convenient. How convenient.
So, just FYI. But anyways, yeah, so this noise out here.
Oh, now we're back to the noise.
It would be nice at some point if these idiotic public servants would pay attention. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I've been complaining about for, let's see, over 3.5 years now.
Yes, he has.
That yes, these public servants can't seem to pay attention to. They can't seem to get it through their thick skulls. They would rather attack me, just try to destroy me, destroy my life, because that's what cowards do. They hide behind their so-called power and they attack what they think they can destroy.
Okay. So again, everybody's a coward. Everybody's stupid or inept or give it time. The word bigot will come out of here to him. You hear the narcissism because a narcissist, everybody is wrong but him. He's the only one that's right. So that's what you're hearing right now coming from
him. Instead of just doing their jobs. I mean, frankly, I don't see how attacking me because I want peace and quiet at night is protecting and serving anybody, let alone the community.
Now, peace and quiet to him must be absolute. Seal yourself in a vault. Quiet. Like, you'll go insane. Quiet. However, we heard the noise in the first video. You heard me reference the citizens of Zanesville who responded to my questions asking about this noise. You heard a noise that you could just barely hear, and he went outside. Mind you, this video, supposedly, he woke up at 1:30 in the morning, okay? He went outside. He had to go outside to hear this, and you still can just barely hear it. He says it sounds like a tornado siren. And I'm like, dude, no. I've heard tornado sirens. They sound like air raid drills sirens. That, again, I think it's right here. I think he has inner ear deafness is what I believe he has. I'm not a doctor, though. I'm not a medical doctor. Here we go.
Maybe themselves. I guess that would be safe to say is that they serve themselves by attacking me, by coming after me, charging me frivolously and fraudulently with telecommunications harassment because they're too stupid to figure out their job. Because quota hire dispatchers can't take a complaint that they're required to.
So let's talk about that. I told you I had paperwork on this. I told you. I do my research. I request when I need to request. This was a letter from the office of the law director of the city of Zanesville. Reason, non-emergency calls. Dear Mr. Killeran, as you may remember, I am the law director for the city of Zanesville. While my office does not typically send out warning letters when we believe a crime has been committed, I know you have devoted much of your time to the service of our country, and I wanted to provide you this well-deserved courtesy. Now, from what I've heard in some other recordings, and we'll go back and we'll listen to these because he's got his own playlist. From what I've understood, he spent about 4.5 years in service. Okay. The Zanesville Police Department informed me that you made over 153 calls in the past 3 months. Now, this letter is dated May 6th, 2020. 153 calls in the past 3 months. So that would take you to February. Holy hell. Okay. To the city's non-emergency dispatch line. This number of calls could easily disrupt the concentration and efficiency of our dispatchers, thereby possibly placing our officers and citizens at risk. I must ask that you cease and desist all non-emergency calls to our dispatchers. I assure you, whatever complaints or grievances you may have with the city are better suited for a conversation with your council representative, the mayor, or myself. Now, again, we've heard him. He called out the law director, calls him inept, calls him, what do you call him, a coward because he's hiding behind his uniform or a badge. I even recommended, say, hey, why don't you go talk to your city councilman? This is a good opportunity, right? They go on, I truly do not want it to reach this level, but any more non-emergency calls placed by you to our dispatch center could result in charges being filed. Such charges could include, but may not be limited to, disturbing public servants, obstructing official business, or telecommunication harassment. We will play some of those videos where you can hear the telecommunications harassment. Obviously, if you have a true emergency, please do not hesitate to call 911. However, if you are just calling dispatch to vent your frustration, which he does every time, I would ask that you find another outlet for those concerns. Otherwise, we'll have no choice but to file charges. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, David Talbert. He is the law director for the city of Zanesville. That in of it there is the letter. Okay. So that's that right there. So he does not understand the law. He does not at all. He likes to think that, again, everybody should stop what they're doing at 7 o'clock at night and it should be absolutely quiet. I would not even be one bit fazed if he doesn't go outside and yell at the bugs, the crickets, to stop making noise. I honestly believe that. So let's continue.
It's their job to. There is nothing in the quote-unquote law that says that a dispatcher has the choice to do whatever they want.
Now, again, he's venting because the dispatchers did their job. He didn't get the results he thought he was going to get. He thought he was going to call the cops, complain. Cop was going to go out to Stave Company or Casting Solutions and say, hey, you got to shut it all down. It's 8 o'clock at night. Mr. Killeran doesn't want to hear any more noise. Well, he didn't get that. So, yes, he's going to now start to attack the dispatchers. And no, they did not break any laws.
Or to play games on the phone, or to hang up on people, or to ignore law violations in the community that they are required because they're the ones that chose to take that position to work for that particular corporation. They're the ones getting.
Now, again, that's what SovCits do here. They call cities, municipalities, counties, they call everything's a corporation. So, yes, they're incorporated. They have to be able to collect revenue like they do, to be able to sign contracts, to be able to hire third parties to do jobs for the city or the county. So instead of just saying the city, he again pulls it out of the SovCit playbook, and everything's a corporation. The police department, the fire department, everything's a corporation to him.
Compensated by that corporation to do a job, but now I guess they're not required to. They're getting pandered to. They're getting paid to do the job, but they're not required to do the whole job, just part of it. And they can pick and choose who they want to do the job for and who they don't want to do the job for. Well, that's contrary to established laws, and practices. So if you all are okay with that, you really need to take a look in the mirror and examine yourselves, because if you're okay with these public servants doing whatever they feel like they want to do at any given moment in time, well, it's only a matter of time before there's an issue that you have that.
Again, none of that is true. They did everything that was within their power, within the law. These are commercially zoned areas. You can't trespass noise unless you have proof that it's actually destroying your property. Okay, you just can't. I will tell you, and we'll go over this. There's another video that you definitely need to see and listen to, where and I have the paperwork on it too, where the city was willing to pay. They had two companies that were putting in bids to come out and do noise assessments, and they were going to pay for it. I think the high end was like $9,000. The low end was like almost $7,000, and they were going to do it. But this individual right here, Mr. Killeran, didn't want to allow the person in his house to set up the machine because he's recording the noise outside, and what they're trying to do is take a noise sampling from inside the house. You know, he says he suffers from low frequency noises. He can hear things from the power lines. And so the only real way to do that was for them to install this machine in the house. And I've seen this device. It's not very big. And it analyzes the full spectrum. So that way they have a full report. Well, he didn't want him to do it. He's like, oh, they can put it outside on the easement. Well, that's not where you're saying you're having the noise violation. You're saying it's in your house, that you hear it in your house. Let them take the spectrum. He wouldn't let him. So, and that's where we roll with this. So here we go.
You think that the police department or the city should take care of, because, of course, you know, this is all written down in black and white, so to speak, in the codes and statutes and laws that bind these people, that tell them what to do and what not to do, and you know. But I guess when we live in a day and age when people don't read, they just watch Facebook videos, TikTok videos, and
here's
all this nonsense,
insulting people.
You know, they just believe whatever somebody says. They don't bother validating it themselves, or God forbid they read.
He gets very upset if you disprove him on anything he mentions and you put it in the comments to his videos. He hates that. He does not want anybody to challenge his sorry, soft ego. He doesn't. He wants nobody to challenge that. And if you come with a counter argument, he will post up some weird ass shit from an uncredible source, and he'll be like, here, chew on this. And it's from some weird site that I've never heard of. He can't stand it, but yet he says in his videos, oh, if you want to have a constructive conversation, you know, then I don't have a problem with that. But the second you challenge him, it all falls apart. He can't take it.
The laws, the codes and statutes that I'm referring to, or, you know, that might even pertain to their own situation, no, they leave it up to somebody else. They leave it up to a grown-up to figure out, because their feeble little brains can't quite handle it. So
there's more of the insults.
Yeah, I think I'll leave you guys there with that. Let me check here and see if this
here we go.
Noise is
you're going to hear nothing again, or very little of anything.
Oh,
remember, he's outside now.
How about that?
Yeah, no problem, Chris. Anytime. I enjoy doing this stuff.
Not much, though.
No, you hear bugs.
It'll probably kick back up here pretty soon.
No, you see what he said? Oh, you don't hear much right now, but it'll kick back up. You're full of shit, dude. We couldn't hear it the last time. You have to go outside to hear this noise.
Anyways, hope you all are staying safe out there with all the snow and ice. And, yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to pay attention. it wouldn't hurt to, get up to take a piss. I mean, middle of the night, you hear this noise. It doesn't make any sense to me how people aren't bothered by this. I mean,
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. And the reason for he just continues on with this same rant. He starts going, he literally talks in a circle. Okay, so he's going to sit there. He's going to call people stupid again. He's going to call the dispatchers quota hires and whatnot. He's going to go back after the police and say they're inept and they don't know how to do their job. If you want to watch the video, I'll post the original source video in the description to this video. The video. But that in of itself is where the problem is. This guy, he thinks he does no wrong. Now, I haven't been back to his channel in a couple days. I did want to pull this because I thought it was great that he's actually talking and going back to the noise again. Please let me know in the comments to the video, did you hear that noise he was talking about? Mind you, he thinks this noise sounds like a tornado siren. Okay, you can't hear it in his house. So he literally went outside his slider door, which is probably his backyard. It could be his side yard. I don't know. To record the noise at the beginning of this video of his original video. He went outside, recorded it. He left his tablet sitting out there so you could hear something, but you can't hear anything. And if you can't hear it in his house. A company that's been in the community for 120 years. Another company has been in the community for over 80 years. You just now are complaining about the noise. Again, while he's in the house on his rant and raves, you don't hear that noise. I'm in my house right now. You probably hear the dryer running because it's right around the corner from my office. That noise is what is outside and about 5 miles away from him at night. Again, I can't explain this. Every time I see this type of stuff, it blows my mind. So that's all I have on this video. I do have another video coming out later tonight. We're going to be breaking down the Moorish lien. So you guys can view that and see how they approach it. I do apologize. My videos do run a little longer. But I do that because I start breaking stuff down. I'll go out there. I'll do the extra research. I think I'm kind of along the same lines as Swindle here. You know, we break it down. We come and we talk about the actual definitions he's talking about or whatnot in the video. So I am working. There are some videos I'm going to try to get down to 30 seconds. I am going to do a video. I got to get the source material from Truth. But I want to do my take on the whole Moorish the fake court order that they use to attempt to get somebody out of the hospital. Because I actually have that court order. I can research it and show it to you. So again, it's pretty interesting, and it's 3 pages. I can show you the profile of the supposed judge that signed it. So again, I went out and I sent that stuff. You know, I let Truth know on that video and say, hey, look, I found this. And so I did put it out there, and it's so funny. It's so funny to think these people have this kind of power. But hey, make sure you guys click the like, subscribe, hit that bell, share my videos. You know, right now I don't make any monetization off these. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by middle of this year, which would be great. But hey, I don't do it for that. I do it because I love putting information. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. You know, I do what I can to try to get this information out. I know some of this stuff is old, but there are some people that I do follow that put out constant BS like this guy right here. So I follow his channel quite a bit. It's great when you have people that just give you content to make your videos, and that's what it is. So again, I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you tuning into this live broadcast. This is Doc taking on the Mormons. Thanks for stopping in at Doc's clinic. And it is time for the Doc to check out. Peace, everybody. Take it easy.